दोस्ती की कोई वैल्यू नहीं है ना मुझे, तो कोई अच्छे दोस्त भी नहीं है। People's Creditors Marcy Courtier 2026. Send your foreign creditors directly to People's Bank and win big. Every week, 2 lucky winners take home 100,000 rupees each and cash prizes worth millions throughout the year. People's Creditors Marcy Courtier. And then hack your way in doing this extremely easy hack. Once you've hacked the keypad, you're going to go inside and you can just follow the exact route you see me take here. You're going to want to take out the guards in this order. The first one you're going to want to take out is this guy right here on the corner. Now you're going to want to go into this office. You don't have to take out this guard, but I always do anyways. And then your first set of documents are going to always be right here on this desk. After that, go out the next door inside the office and take out these 2 guards in this order that you see right here. I don't know how the other guys in here don't see what we just did, but I'm not going to ask any questions. Just take the documents on the desk and get out of there as fast as you can. Then as soon as you get in the garbage truck, you're going to see that you have to ram or shoot this FIB fan that's driving by. What I like to do is I like to just equip my stickies, drive right up behind him, and then blow up the sticky on the van before he's ever alerted. Now the van is going to spit out some garbage bags, so immediately hop out and throw those into the back of your garbage truck because you're going to have a 4-star wanted level. Now, when you have this 4-star wanted level, it's going to tell you to lose the cops first, but just ignore it. Remember, the cops don't spawn near the dead drop, so head straight to the dead drop, and then you're going to want to park your truck in this spot that you see right here. After that, just wait for the wanted level to go away, and then hop right back in the garbage truck, which is going to immediately end the mission. Once the mission is over, it's time to head to the next and final A on your map, where we're going to be doing the No Way Out finale. The first thing you need to do is make sure you set it on hard difficulty. This is extremely important so that way we can make the most amount of money possible. This finale is going to also have an elite challenge tied to it that can make us an extra $100,000. But in order to complete the elite challenge, we cannot fail any hacks, we can't die, and we have to get 35 headshots. We also have to complete the mission in under 10 minutes, so we have to make sure we're moving fast. This isn't really hard, just follow along. The first thing you want to do is immediately run up and collect this hacking device, and then immediately run out onto the street, meeting the cop cars, so that way as soon as the cop gets out, you get busted and you get sent straight to the interrogation room. As soon as you get in the interrogation room, stand up and then go up to this bookshelf that you see me go up to here and pick up the book. What you're going to want to look for is the lock symbol and the color of the line connecting the 2 locks. As you can see, the color for me is yellow. So we're going to remember that, and then we're going to immediately pick up this pen and then go up to the keypad that's right next to the door. Now remember, our color was yellow, so we're going to cut the yellow wire to open the door and get out of the interrogation room. After that, sneak up behind this guard and take him out in stealth, and then immediately pick up his gun. Once you've picked it up, it's time to immediately start going for our 35 headshots. Make sure you guys are keeping count. Trust me, the first time I ever did this on my main account, I lost track of my headshots very quickly. So make sure you're taking your time when you're getting your headshots. You also want to be constantly monitoring your health, because remember, we cannot die for the elite challenge. So every time you get hurt, pull up your weapon wheel and then quickly eat snacks. So if you're on controller, you just hold your weapon wheel button and then you spam up on the D-pad. Now, once you've gotten all of the headshots in this first room, go up to the computer and hack into the database. This is really easy. You just line up the gray lines on your screen. You should be able to complete in about 20 seconds, and once you're done with that, immediately run through the door, go upstairs, and start getting the rest of your headshots. Notice how I'm still using the normal pistol, and the reason why is because it's a one-shot headshot, but it's very weak to the body. It's also 1 bullet at a time, so I just find it easier to get my headshots with the basic standard pistol. And once you're on the roof, of course, make sure you headshot the rest of the guards, and then hop in the Swift helicopter and immediately start flying towards Avi Schwartzman. Now you're going to get shot down along the way, so just let them shoot you down. After you've gotten shot down, immediately start eating snacks because you're going to be on low health from the crash. So make sure you go into this next part with full health because you're going to need it to headshot the rest of the enemies here. Now this is a part where it's extremely easy to accidentally die if you lose track of your health. I also like to immediately shoot down this annihilator that pulls up, just so I can solely focus on headshots without worrying about being shot by the miniguns on the annihilator. After you've taken it down, make sure that you headshot the rest of the guards here, and you will be well over 35 headshots. I usually end up being around 38 to 40 headshots, and then once you've taken them all out, immediately hop on this jet ski and drive straight to the boat where you'll pass the mission and you'll get paid $525,000 because you were on hard mode. Now for the elite challenge, You can see we beat it under 10 minutes, we didn't die, we didn't fail any hacks, and most importantly, we got over 35 headshots. We got 38 headshots, so that's the 4 steps to Elite Challenge, which means we're gonna get an additional $100,000, totaling up to $625,000. Now at this point, 2 in-game days have passed, so we got $100,000 waiting for us in the nightclub, which means it's now time to fast travel to the nightclub and pick up our nightclub safe earnings. To do that, we're going to change our spawn location to the nightclub and then join a new invite-only session. This is going to fast travel us straight to the nightclub, where we're going to head straight up to the safe, and then we're going to collect our $100,000. Now keep in mind, because $100,000 in there, like I said, that means 2 in-game days have passed, so you're going to want to make sure you swap your DJ to keep your popularity maxed out. Now to do this the right way, you're going to have to do one more setup mission. I know you're probably tired of doing setups by now, but trust me, it's going to be worth it. Go to the computer, and then you're going to want to go to Resident DJ and swap the DJ with Tale of Us. It says 100,000, but trust me, every time you swap DJs after this, it will only cost 10,000, because we're just going to swap between Tale of Us and Solomon. The reason why we're doing this is so we can keep our nightclub popularity maxed out without having to do any work. Basically, every time you swap your DJ for $10,000, it's going to boost your nightclub's popularity by half a bar. And because we have the staff upgrade, it's going to take 2 full in-game days for us to lose half a bar of popularity. And by keeping our nightclub popularity maxed out, our nightclub safe is going to be generating $50,000 every 48 minutes. So pay the first time fee of $100,000, pick them up from the airport, and then from here on out, to keep your nightclub popularity maxed out every 2 in-game days, just fast travel to your nightclub, go to the elevator in your office, go to basement level 1, and then run up to the computer and swap the DJ. By doing it here, you skip the cutscene that normally plays. Now, the next thing I did is I went to the nearest stash house, and stash houses are really good. They change once every in real life day. Basically, all you do is go in there, take out the thugs, find the post-it note, and then put the code in the safe. And inside the safe, usually what this is going to do is resupply one of your businesses. But because we don't have any businesses yet, it's going to pay us $30,000 in just a couple minutes. But speaking of businesses, it's time to go acquire our first business. And to do that, we're going to go to this R on the map to start the Dax First Dose missions. Now, these guys are pretty wacky and these missions are pretty fun, but more importantly, we're going to be making a ton of money from them off first-time bonuses, and we're going to be able to acquire the Acid Lab for free, which is a passive income business, and we're going to be able to get that just by doing these missions. So basically, you just play through these missions, and you'll see every single time you're going to get paid a pretty good amount just from doing the mission, and then you're going to get a $50,000 first-time bonus. So you saw just from that first one, I got $70,000. From the next one, again, it didn't really take me too long, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. You pretty much just go be an errand boy for Dax, get paid another $20K plus another $50K first-time bonus. So after that, I just played through the rest of these. As you can see, they're pretty wacky, and there's 6 total first dose missions. So you're going to get $50K for each first dose mission as a first-time bonus, and then you're going to get around $15,000 to $20,000 just for completing the missions. So they pay extremely well. Now, once you get to the final first dose mission, it's going to be called First Dose 6 Off the Rails, and this is where we're going to go steal the Brigade 6x6, and the Brigade 6x6 is what we're going to be running our Acid Lab out of. So you're pretty much just going to run through this mission. It really isn't too hard, but the one big tip I will give you here is whenever you are breaking into these crates, the enemies will not shoot at you. So don't worry about mowing down each wave of enemies. Just collect the chemicals, hop in the Brigade 6x6, and get the heck out of there. Once you deliver it, you will get another $16,000, and then on top of that, you're not just going to get a $50,000 first-time bonus. You're going to get a $250,000 first-time bonus for completing the final first dose mission. That means in total, from the first dose missions, we made over $700,000, and we only ever have to play through those one time. On top of that, we also got the Acid Lab, which is one of the best passive income, if not the best passive income business in the game, for free. We just need to go set it up now. So go to this location here on the map, and then once you get there, all you gotta do is take out a couple of security guards, and then you just gotta be a forklift driver, pick up the supplies, put it on the back of the truck, and then deliver it to the Freak Shop. Now the Freak Shop This is basically going to be your new home of the Acid Lab. And what you're going to do is run up to Mutt here, and then you're going to want to use all of the money you just made on the first dose missions to install the lab equipment in the Acid Lab for $750,000. Now, if I were you, I would not buy supplies right away, because as of right now, the Acid Lab will not make us much money. We'll get more into the Acid Lab later, but basically, if you buy the supplies for $60,000, you will barely make any profit on it, because we need to get the equipment upgrade. And in order to get the equipment upgrade, we need to complete 10 Fooligan jobs for Dax. Now, trust me when I say this equipment upgrade, it's not just optional, it's essential. You need it for the Acid Lab. So in order to do these Dax Fooligan jobs, you need to go outside, call Dax, and then you request a job. You can do one of these every 48 minutes, and you need to do 10 of these to get the equipment upgrade for the Acid Lab. Now, a lot of these are extremely easy, and some of them can be done in just a couple minutes. But unfortunately, because of that 48-minute cooldown, you really have no choice but to accept whichever one Dax gives you. And let me tell you guys right now, if you get this Crop Duster one right here, you may not have a soul by the time you're done with it. Not only does the Duster fly at like 2 miles an hour and it's hard to get off the ground, but you're going to have a helicopter with an aimbot chasing you, forcing you to have to go pick up a second Duster at some point during this mission. This mission takes forever. Rockstar, can we please remove this from the game? Every time I start a new account, this is what I'm least looking forward to, is getting this Dax Fooligan job right here. There's also another horrible one that I'm not even going to show you guys, because then you're not going to want to do the Fooligan jobs, and you're not going to get your Acid Lab equipment upgrade. But trust me when I say, at the end of the day, these are worth it. You may just end up like this at the end. But the one big tip I will give you to speed up this process is whenever you do request a job and it's far away, make sure you pull up your interaction menu, go to your VIP vehicles, and spawn a Super Bolito. I actually recommend doing this all the time. It's only 10,000 the first time, and then it's free until you blow it up. Now, what I recommend you guys do is in between each Dax mission, you request a Fooligan job. So when you're doing the first and last dose missions, by the time you're done with all of them, there's 11 total, you will be able to get the Acid Lab equipment upgrade. With that being said, it is now time to start the last dose missions, and I'm going to make sure in between each one of these, like I said, that I'm doing a Fooligan job. There's only 5 total, and you can get them done extremely fast, so they're definitely worth doing. You're gonna get over 500K plus a free supercar. Now for the finale, if you wanna complete this fast, I do see some people struggling with this. When you get to LSIA in this tiny little plane, all you have to do is start cutting off the big cargo plane before it even takes off. So do it just as you see me do here. Make sure your landing gear is up. That way, as soon as the cargo plane gets up in the air, you're already within the hacking radius, and then you'll be able to crash right into the cargo plane and take out the remaining enemies. Now, after you've taken out the enemies inside of the cargo plane, you will have to take out a few waves of cops, and then you will have to take this truck back to the freak shop. But once you've done that, you will officially be done with all of the first and last dose missions. As you can see, we got over 600K total just from the last dose missions. Plus, we're gonna be able to go pick up Fried Lander's car right here on the map. This is an extremely fast free supercar, and later on, once we have an agency, we'll be able to equip it with a mining tech upgrades and armor.
Town of Bat, food, grocery, and more. Download now.
Almost impossible to blow up. But now that you've done all of the first dose and last dose missions, as long as you are doing Fooligan jobs in between, you are now ready to get the Acid Lab equipment upgrade. So once you've gotten all of those Fooligan jobs done, go up to Mutt and then purchase the equipment upgrade. And now it's officially time to start making money with your Acid Lab. The Acid Lab is arguably the best business for solo players in GTA Online. This business with the equipment upgrade can now make you over $140,000 per hour. Now that we have the equipment upgrade, it's only going to take 1.5 resupplies to fill up the entire Acid Lab. pad. On top of that, it's now only going to take 4 hours for the entire acid lab to fill up. Make sure that you're buying the supplies through Mutt instead of sourcing the supplies yourself. Trust me, it's going to save you so much time. All you have to do is head up to Mutt and pay him $60,000 and he will go get the supplies for you. Now you only have to do this 1.5 times in order to fill up the acid lab. So that means in order to fill up your acid lab, it's going to cost you $96,000 every single time, which means our total profit will be up to $421,000 every single time, which means we're still making over $100K per hour in pure profit. This is why the equipment upgrade is so important, because without it, you're only going to make $40,000 in profit for every acid lab sale. On top of that, it's going to take 6+ hours just to fill it without the equipment upgrade. Now, for most of you, the first time you fill it up, it'll be at $335,000, but there's a way to increase it even more. All you have to do is change the name of your acid lab in your interaction menu, and you just do this one time for $5,000. Once you do that, you will permanently increase the value of your acid lab by 5%, making your product now worth $351,000. Now you may be wondering how this is coming out to over $100,000 per hour, and the answer is we need to sell in a public lobby. Now obviously we need to wait for our acid lab to fill up before we can sell in a public lobby, but to keep this guide well organized, I'll show you guys a really good run from my main account showing you guys the exact method that I use to sell my acid in public lobbies for maximum profit without ever having to worry about griefers. Let's jump into it. Now that your acid lab is full, it's time to do a sell mission. You always want to sell in a public lobby. The reason why is because we get a 2.5% boost per player in our public lobby up to 20 players. That can give us up to a 50% total increase in value, which is going to change our final payout from $351,000 to over $527,000 as long as we have at least 20 players in our public lobby. Now, normally it would be very risky for you to try to do a sell mission in a public lobby with one of your businesses, because if 12-year-old Timmy on his oppressor decides that he wants to come blow you up, you're going to lose all of your supplies. But with this method, you're never going to have to worry about getting griefed in a public lobby. All right, so once you're in a public lobby, go ahead and start up the sell mission. You're going to want to make sure that you get the sell mission with only one drop-off. So if you see multiple deliveries and multiple locations that you have to go to, that means that you either got the paperboy delivery mission or you got the mission where you have to go stash the acid in different hiding places. Both of these are okay, but in a public lobby, they're more risky because they're going to take more time to get done. What I personally like to do is I only like to do the acid lab sell mission where it is a sting operation. So what I do if I get one of the two bad sell missions is I immediately pause my game and I swap my session to a new public lobby. This will take about $5,000 off the top every time you swap your session, but don't worry, it usually only takes 2 to 3 tries. And then you're going to get the good sell mission, which is the sting operation sell mission. So once again, you know that you got this one because it's only one drop-off location. Now, as soon as you get this sell mission, you're immediately going to want to pull up your interaction menu, and you are going to want to request either your Sparrow or your Super Valido in your VIP vehicles. And then before you even get off your bike, you're going to want to pull up your map, and you're going to want to set a waypoint at the mission marker. After that, hop in your helicopter and fly straight to the waypoint. Now, while you're on the way, as soon as the timer in the bottom right expires, you are going to want to pull up your interaction menu, and you are going to want to go to VIP abilities, and you are going to want to activate Ghost Organization. By activating Ghost Organization, you're going to take yourself completely off the map to everybody in the lobby. And the best part about this sell mission is we're going to be able to complete it before the Ghost Organization timer even runs out. So now that you've gotten to where the waypoint is, all you're going to want to do is shoot your missiles at the cops to trigger the sting operation. Now, if you do not have missiles in your helicopter, you just have a Super Valido, just land on the roof, shoot at the cops to start the sting operation. You will still have enough time. But as soon as you trigger the sting operation, you're going to want to fly as high as you can in the air until you lose the cops. Now, while you're losing the cops, make sure you're on the way back to where your acid lab bike is. And then as soon as you lose the cops, hop back on your acid lab bike and take it to the drop-off. The drop-off's usually only going to be less than like 1.5 miles away, so it's going to take you less than a minute to get there. Once you drop off the acid, you're going to get paid out between $500,000 and $527,000 every single time in less than 4 minutes of work, all while you were off the radar the entire time because of how fast we can get this sell mission over with. Now, once you're done, just make sure that you keep supplying Mutt and you come back every 3 to 4 hours to do a new cell mission. Now I will say, of course, having the Sparrow or the Oppressor is going to make this so much easier. So if it's your first time doing this, I highly recommend just doing it in a invite-only session a few times, so that way you can get it down. That way, once you go into a public lobby, you've practiced and you're ready to go. But now after completing No Way Out and all of the Dax missions, you will have enough money just like I do to buy the Casaca so we can do the Cayo Perico heist. The Cayo Perico heist is still the best way to make money as a solo player in GTA Online. This heist only takes 35 to 45 minutes to complete from start to finish, making you at least $1 million every single time. And I'm going to be showing you exactly how to complete this heist in the fastest way possible from start to finish as a beginner. So now that we've completed our last dose missions and set up our acid lab, you're going to want to go to Warstock Cash and Carry, and you're going to want to buy the Casaca. But before you can buy it, you're going to have to go to the music locker here on the map, which is at the Diamond Casino. The door is going to be on the outside. Just head up to the door, walk in, pay your cover charge, and then walk up to the VIP table where you're going to meet Minnie Madrazo, who's going to tell you about some very confidential files that someone is holding that we're going to have to go take back for him. So now that the cutscene is over, head back to Warstock Cash and Carry and officially buy the Casaca. Now later on, once we have enough money, we will be coming back in here and we will be adding the Sparrow for $1.8 million. The Sparrow is the best helicopter in the game, and in my opinion, it's the best all-around vehicle in the game for the money for solo players. It's faster than the Oppressor Mark II, its missiles are more accurate, and it has unlimited missiles. On top of that, we can respawn it instantly as many times as we want, and if it blows up, we don't have to pay to repair it. So we will be getting that later, but for now, purchase the Casaca, and then go to your VIP vehicles, spawn a Super Volito, and then land it on the Casaca just like you see me do here. Then you're going to want to run in this door, so that way we can start up an unskippable cutscene to meet our old pal Pavel, who's going to be helping us complete this Cayo Perico heist. Now the first thing you want to do, walk up to the heist board, and then you're going to want to start the heist intel mission. This specific mission we will never have to do again. It's only for the first time you run the Cayo. There will be some unskippable cutscenes. You'll get to meet up with our boy Dr. Dre though, and then you're going to fly out with the homies to Cayo Perico for the very first time, where we're going to meet our old pal, Mr. Rubio. Yes, Mr. Rubio himself. We are actually going to be driving him to the party. We actually get to chill with him for a little bit. Little does he know what we're going to be doing very soon behind his back. So just dance around for a couple minutes until you get this message pop up to exit by the south gate, and then take this exact path you see me take right here. Now, once you get outside the south gate, you are going to want to head over to the north dock right here. So just follow this exact path, because we are going to need to get a few scope outs done, so that way we don't have to come back and do them later. Hop in this boat at the north dock, and then you're going to want to go to these exact locations that I go to right here. So you're going to see right here, we're going to drive around the island, follow the path that I'm taking, because we are going to need to go to Mr. Rubio's mansion. We're going to jump out of the boat right at this spot right here. That way we scope out the drainage tunnel. Now we're never going to have to do this again. This is permanent, but basically this can allow us to enter into Mr. Rubio's mansion later when we do the heist through that drainage tunnel. So that's permanently unlocked just by going there the very first time. Then we need to go scope out the main dock. That way we permanently unlock the main dock as our spawn point for the Cayo Perico heist. So as you guys can see right here, you're going to run up on the hill, pull out your phone, take a picture of the main dock from the same angle. You will be able to send it directly to Pavel, which will unlock the main dock. You can see in the bottom left, it'll say you scoped it out. Then just run to the mission marker, so that way we can continue the mission that they actually want us to do. Once again, you will never have to do this again after the first time. This is only for the first time you play through the Cayo Perico heist. But just follow this path I take here up to the communications tower. Now, when you get here, the security box most likely will not be on the ground, so you will want to go up the ladder to find the signal box. Once you find the signal box, you're just going to do this little multiplication hack, again, just like we did earlier. You see the target is 36, so 6 times 2 is 12, 4 times 1 is 4, and 2 times 10 is 20. That equals 36, hack complete, simple. Now, you're going to want to open up your phone and go to the Sightseer app. Now, when you go to the Sightseer app, you'll have to watch a couple cutscenes in the Sightseer app that you'll never have to watch again when we repeat the Cayo later. But once you get to the basement room, turn the camera all the way to the safe, so that way you can scope out the Madrazo files, which are also only going to be able to be stolen the very first time we do the Kyle. Now, once you've scoped out the rest of the cameras, hop over the rail and face plant into the ground so that way you instantly fast travel back to where we started earlier. After that, scope out the north dock and just do the different things that Pavel tells you to do. It's a lot of tedious stuff that we don't have to worry about later because we're never going to come back to the north dock again. We're basically just going to be going to the airstrip every time. So what you want to do is run your way all the way to the airstrip, like you see me do right here, and then run into this little barn right here, and make sure that you take some pictures of the loot so you remember what loot that you had for later. Now, you don't actually have to take pictures of these if you don't want, if you can memorize what the loot was, but basically, you want to prioritize the highest value loot. The Coca-Cola, which you see right there, is the highest value, so we want to prioritize that. The second most valuable is going to be the grass. So if you don't get either one of those, it's pretty unlucky. You'll have to go with the cash, but regardless, once you're done, you're going to want to head over to the pilot here and tell them that you want to head back to Los Santos. Once you're back in Los Santos, once again, pull up your interaction menu and spawn a Super Bolito once again, because we're going to want to fly out to the Kasaka. Now, what I want you guys to do is fly over towards Vespucci Beach, open your interaction menu, go to service vehicles, go to Kasaka, and then you're going to want to request your Kasaka. Then you're going to fast travel the Kasaka right to Vespucci Beach for free, when normally this would cost $10,000 the first time, and it's just faster out there. So I figured I'd save you guys a little time and money by showing you that little trick. Now go up to your heist board, go to prep, go to approach vehicles, and then we're going to want to select the long fin. This is going to be the vehicle that we pull up to Cayo Perico in when we do the actual heist. But we need to go steal it first. So you pick the long fin, go up on the top of your Kasaka, hop in your Super Bolito, and fly to the location it shows on the map. Now you're going to see when we get here, obviously, we cannot steal the trailer yet because we need a semi-truck. And later on, you will actually be able to buy a Phantom Wedge so you can just spawn it there and steal the trailer. But for now, we're peasants. So we're going to have to go pick up a free semi-truck that Pavel puts on the map for us and then drive it to where the long fin is. Now, what I highly recommend you guys do for this, pull up your snacks ahead of time, back in and get ready to spam the snacks when you're getting shot, because they're going to light you up. But you saw I spammed the snacks, so I was able to eat all of that lead. Now what you're going to want to do is immediately pull forward, hop out of your semi-truck, make sure you get some distance from it, and then start cooking a grenade until it blows up in your hand. This is going to immediately get rid of the wanted level. That way we can just run right back over to the semi-truck and deliver the long fin to the waypoint. This just saved us a bunch of time because now we don't have to try to drive around and lose the cops in this semi-truck. So now that you've delivered the long fin, immediately request another Super Bolito and then fly out to the Kasaka where you're gonna start your next heist prep. The next heist prep, you're gonna wanna go to equipment. You're going to want to ignore the demolition charges. Never, ever pick demolition charges. By finding the drainage tunnel, we're going to be able to substitute the demolition charges with the cutting torch. So all we're going to do is the bottom three: safe code, fingerprint cloner, and cutting torch. So the first thing we're going to do is do the safe code. Now sometimes this will be the plasma cutter, but because we have to break the safe, we need to get the safe code. This is going to take us to the Diamond Casino, where we're going to immediately take a left and hit the elevator. Then we're going to be in the parking garage. All we got to do is find the orange car.
For gum bleeding, you need the gum experts. Parodontax is clinically proven to remove plaque bacteria and actively helps gums repair from just 1 week.
Open the trunk, find the key card, then head up to the penthouse floor. Once you're on the penthouse floor, you're going to want to find where the 2 security guards are. All you have to do is take out your homing launcher, shoot it right in the middle of them. It's going to blow them both up, and you will not be detected.
So even though you just blew them both up with a homing launcher right outside the door, nobody is going to know that you just did it. You're going to walk in like nothing happened. So you can be a little stealthy while you look for the head of security. I like to head into the room to my right first, so that way I can see if he's in there. If he is, you're in luck because you're going to be able to get it over with extremely quick. So since he was in the room immediately to my right, all I'm going to do is just immediately take him out. You're not going to be able to do this stealth. Everybody's going to be alerted the second you pull a gun out. But what you're going to want to do, though, to get this over with quickly, is immediately run up to him, steal the safe code, and then normally you'd have to fight all these enemies inside and outside and do a bunch of fighting, but all you have to do is pull out your homing launcher and shoot it right into the ground just like that. This is going to spawn you directly outside without any cops on you, without you having to do any fighting, without having to work your way back to the elevators. You just skip everything. And now you can just fly right back out to the Kasaka, land your Super Volito up top, and then start the fingerprint cloner heist prep.
Now this is probably the easiest prep. Just fly to the location and then immediately run inside and blow everybody up. If you go behind the cover on the right, you won't die, but it really doesn't matter because regardless, you would have to wait for the flames to burn out. So I don't mind blowing myself up along with everyone else. That way, as soon as I run back inside, I'm able to just run right up to the laptop and do the hack. Now you can also put a little sticky right behind the laptop, so that way as soon as you're done with the hack, you can blow it up and it'll respawn you back outside. But I really don't think it takes that much longer. Just do the hack and then run back outside. After that, you're gonna fly to the archive, and I usually take out the cameras outside just so that way nobody's pulling up later. And then all you have to do is just run into this back area you see here, and then pretty much every single time, the fingerprint cloner will be on one of those desks. Then you just run right back outside and fly straight back to the Kasaka to finish the fingerprint cloner prep. And now it's time for the final equipment prep, which is the cutting torch. Now remember, we got the cutting torch prep because we scoped out the drainage tunnel earlier. Now all we have to do is fly straight to one of 3 construction sites, and then all you're gonna have to do is find the hard hat. Now at every single one of these sites, there will be a hard hat near the entrance. As you can see right here, this is the skyscraper location. So at the very top, this is where the hard hat will be every single time. Now for some reason, you gotta wait a couple seconds before it lets you pick it up. Not sure why, but once you pick it up, you'll put on the hard hat, and now you will be undetectable to all of the guards here as long as you don't stand in their vision cone for too long. After that, find the cutting torch, pick it up, and then take it back to the Kasaka, finishing the final equipment prep. Now, I'm not sure why we couldn't have just bought the cutting torch on Amazon or something, but regardless, now it's time to do the final prep, which is the weapon loadout prep. Now for this one, always select the aggressor loadout, and then at the bottom of your screen, if you see it say, go to Merryweather HQ, do not do it. It's gonna take like 10 to 15 minutes. Just find a new invite-only session, make sure your spawn location is set to the Kasaka, and then run back up to the heist prep and try again. You want to do anything but Merryweather HQ, so just do it over and over again until you get something other than Merryweather HQ, because these other missions will only take 2 to 3 minutes. The only downside is if you have to find a new lobby, it'll move your helicopter onto the beach, so you're going to want to spawn a dinghy from your Kasaka service vehicle in the interaction menu, and then you're just going to want to drive the dinghy onto the beach, hop in your Super Volito, and then you're going to want to fly it to whichever building you're assigned to. So as you can see, for us, it's 707 Vespucci. So you just want to fly there, land on the roof, and then you're going to want to go inside. Always make sure you land on the roof of whatever building you get, and then you're going to want to take out the guards in this exact order you see here. For some reason, when we take out the guards in this order, we will not be detected by anybody else. I don't know why, I don't know how. Maybe those guys that are standing right across the room there didn't like those guys that we just took out, but I'm not asking any questions. Regardless, you're just gonna do the little hack on the laptop, then you're gonna open the gun locker, and you're gonna take the weapons, and then head straight back to the elevator. Now, when you get to the elevator, make sure you press the correct button to go to the roof. If you go to the ground floor, you will not be able to get back up. And you're gonna wanna make sure that you go straight to the roof, hop in your helicopter immediately, because the helicopters that are gonna be chasing you literally have aimbots, they don't miss. Now, once you get back to the Kasaka, you will finally be done with all of your preps. So now it's officially time to start the Cayo Perico heist. Now, once you start the Cayo Perico heist, make sure that you select these exact options that I select here. Of course, long fin for approach vehicle, main dock for infiltration point, that's very important, drainage tunnel for compound entry point. For your escape point, choose the airstrip, but it really doesn't matter for that one. Time of day, go daytime, and then for your weapon loadout, make sure you equip the suppressors. This is extremely important. So make sure you put those suppressors
and then you're ready to officially start the Cayo Perico hikes. We're also going to be completing the Elite Challenge on this run here for an additional $50,000, so make sure you follow along step by step and do exactly what I do here. Because in order to complete the Elite Challenge, we can't die, we can't get detected, we can't fail any hacks, we have to fill our loot bag, and we have to get this done in under 15 minutes. So follow the path I took, then park your long fin right here on this spot with about half of it sticking up onto the land, so that way it doesn't float too far out to sea. Then you're just going to want to sneak your way into this hangar, make sure you don't get spotted by the guard, and then you're going to want to pick up your most high value loot first. This is very important. You don't want to put any of the lesser value loot in your bag. So of course, we have 2 Coca-Colas in here. One is up top, one is down below. We're going to want to fill our bag with that. And 2 of those stacks is going to completely fill our loot bag. So since we have to go up top first, we're going to use the forklift. We're going to pick up this box, and then we're going to bring the box up against the wall like so. And then you're just going to hop up, use it as some steps, and then you're going to want to break into the room where we are going to take this entire Coca-Cola stack. Now, like I said, 2 Coca-Cola stacks completely fills your loot bag, and it's the highest value loot you can get at the airstrip. So we're going to want to make sure that we don't touch anything else. That way we have the highest value loot possible in our loot bag, which as you can see equals over $400,000. After that, take your time leaving the hangar because you don't want to get detected by this guard, and then immediately just follow the path you see me take here. As long as your loot bag is full. If it's not full, you will have to go to the other barn that we scoped out earlier. But as long as you have that full loot bag, hop in your long fin, take this path you see me take here, because now it's time to break into El Rubio's compound. So once you get here, hop out of your long fin, equip your rebreather by pressing left on the D-pad, and then you're going to want to head up to the grate. Now at this grate, I like to go one at a time until each green highlight disappears. That's the fastest way to break through this grate. Now as soon as you break through the grate, just swim to the end of the drainage tunnel and advance to the actual compound itself. Now once you get in the compound, follow this exact path you see me take here to stay completely undetected. It's a very easy path. All you have to do is run up the stairs here and then immediately take a left. Once you take a left, just run straight, then take a left, then take a right, and hop over this little wall. After that, once you get to this little set of stairs, make sure you're staring at your radar and wait for that guard to this little corridor here. And then you can see I take him out. I actually recommend you guys don't take him out because he can get spotted by other guards if you take him out. Then once you get to the bottom of the steps here, slip past this guard, and then we're just gonna have one more guard to get past. Now, this guard is pretty hard to get past without taking out, so I always take him out. I recommend using your shotgun though. You can see right here I use the machine pistol, but regardless, both weapons are silenced, so just take them out and then move into this room, go up to the safe, and then take that loose cash. You can see we're already at $475,000, and we haven't even picked up the Madrazo files yet. So once you get to this fingerprint cloner hack, all you have to do is count based on which layer you're highlighting. So if you're on the 4th layer, it's going to be 4 to the right from the top of the finger. So if you're on the 2nd layer, it's going to be the 2nd one from the top of the finger. If you're on the 6th one, it's going to be the 6th one from the top of the finger. So if you're ever lost, just find the top of the finger and then go over the corresponding amount of times based on whichever slot you're highlighting. That's how you it's that easy. So what?
Pull up. Pull up. I'm gonna help you attempt.
players have joined. Now, it's your turn to enter the yard. Obsidian Entertainment invites you to explore the world, tackle the story, unravel the mystery, fight for survival, forage, craft, build, upgrade.
No?
Seeking a